There are places you forget for a reason. They stop showing up on maps, the street lights go dark, and no one asks why. But someone always has to go back. For me, that place was West Ridge Mall, a 3-story shopping complex that burned halfway down in 1999 and was left to rot on the edge of my hometown. No one ever rebuilt it. They just fenced it off and left everything inside. In 2008, I was 22. I just bought my first digital camera, a cheap Canon I used for photography class. My best friend Leo had a knack for bad ideas, and that Halloween week, he had one that stuck. "Dude, let's check out West Ridge tonight. I heard there's still stuff in there. Clothes, furniture, even mannequins. We'll get insane shots." I said no. Then I said, maybe. Then at 11 p.m., I found myself standing in a cracked parking lot, fog curling around our ankles. Every sound out there carried too far, like the air itself was listening. We found a tear in the fence. Old, rusted, pulled open just wide enough for one person at a time. The mall loomed above us like a dead ship. I remember the front sign, the W from West Ridge hanging by a single bolt, swaying in the wind. Leo crawled in first. I hesitated. "Come on, dude, it's fine. Just don't shine your light too far." That line stuck with me. Don't shine your light too far. Like he knew something I didn't. The air inside was cold, thick, the kind that sticks to your lungs. Our flashlights swept across graffiti-tagged walls, shattered mannequins, and a collapsed carousel in the atrium. The smell of wet carpet and burnt plastic hit hard. Holy hell, this is perfect. Dude, get your camera. I started snapping photos. The flash echoed through the empty space like thunder. And that's when I noticed them. Footprints in the dust. Not ours. Deep boot prints. Fresh. They led away from us. Deeper into the dark. We found the old security office behind a barricaded hallway. The door was half open. Inside, papers covered the floor. CRT monitors stacked like relics. Whoa, this one's on. He was right. One screen still glowed. A blue security feed, time-stamped for that night. I leaned in close, and my stomach twisted. The feed showed the exact hallway we had just walked through. Except, someone was standing in it. Narrator. Leo froze. I spun my flashlight behind us. Nothing. Empty air. Long shadows. I turned back to the screen. The figure was gone. We started backing toward the door. Then the monitor blinked. The feed changed. Now it showed the security office itself, from an angle behind us. Someone else was in that mall. People talk about fight or flight like it's a switch you flip. But when fear really hits, your mind freezes first. And that's the most dangerous second of your life. When the security feed showed us standing there and something else behind us, I froze. Leo didn't. "It's fake, man. Probably a loop. Old footage." But the timestamp was live. And the angle wasn't from any of the cameras we had passed. We decided to retrace our steps, back toward the atrium. Except, the corridor we had come through didn't look the same anymore. The graffiti was gone from the walls. The floor tiles were clean, like freshly mopped. The air smelled like bleach. Leo swore we'd taken a wrong turn, but there hadn't been any intersections. "Someone's down there!" His voice shook. And then, another sound joined it. The distant roll of something heavy sliding across the floor. We followed the noise. Stupid, I know. It led to a store with half-closed security shutters. Through the gap, we saw movement. just a flash like someone ducking behind a counter. "Hello? We're just taking pictures." I knelt, pointed my flashlight under the shutter. A row of shoeboxes, a toppled mannequin, and then something small. A camcorder. Old Sony Handycam. The red record light blinking. Is it recording? Yeah, it was. And from the angle, it was pointed at the shutter. At us. We ran. Past the food court. Down the escalator that no longer worked. Every footstep echoed back twice. Once real, once delayed. The lower floor smelled worse. Mildew, oil, and something metallic. Basement probably flooded. Then we saw light coming from beneath a service door. Soft, pulsing, like a strobe. Security lights? He reached for the handle. I wanted to stop him, but curiosity's louder than reason. Behind the door was a service tunnel. Pipes ran along the ceiling, condensation dripping like rain. The strobe light wasn't security. It was a single bare bulb flickering over an open maintenance pit. Down there, something had been set up. Old chairs, a mattress, food wrappers, a small radio still hissing static. Someone's living here. He picked up a plastic badge lying in the dust. It was security ID. Name faded, but the photo showed a man's face, half burned like melted film. The radio popped once. Then a voice, low and broken, came through. "You shouldn't have come back." The bulb exploded. Everything went black. We turned our flashlights on, hearts pounding. The mattress was empty, but fresh footprints led away into another tunnel. "Let's get out." We started running. The tunnel split into two identical paths. We picked the left one, sprinting until my chest burned. That's when I realized the footprints behind us didn't match ours. Whoever, whatever lived down there, was following us. Narrator. Quietly. I don't remember dropping my camera. I just remember the red recording light lying in the water, catching a shadow that moved against the direction of the flashlight beam. I don't remember running out of that mall. Just the cold air hitting my face and the sound of my own heartbeat in my ears. When I finally looked back, the doors behind me were shut, like the building had swallowed itself. I screamed Leo's name until my voice broke. No answer. No echo. By the time the sun came up, I was still sitting in that parking lot. Hands shaking, mud on my shoes, camera gone. When the police arrived, I told them everything. They searched for hours, dogs, lights, all of it. But the building was sealed from the inside. They called in the property owner, an old man named Dalton, who said no one had keys since 2001. "We welded the service doors shut. If they got in, someone broke the weld." He wasn't wrong. The door Leo and I used was sealed when they found it. Padlocked tight. No sign of damage. Like we'd never gone in. 2 days later, they found Leo's camera, half buried in a drain pipe behind the mall. The memory card was water damaged, but some footage survived. Most of it was what I remembered. Us laughing, the atrium, the security room. But near the end, as he's filming the tunnel, you can see something in the frame. Just for a second. It looks like a man, shirtless, standing half in shadow. His face burned, twisted like melted wax. The same face from the badge we found. He's not moving, just watching Leo through the viewfinder. And then, the light goes out. I spent weeks trying to convince myself it wasn't real. Maybe the footage was distorted.
Maybe it was a trick of the flash or the shadows, but every time I close my eyes, I see that same silhouette, just standing there, waiting for me to come back. Police listed Leo as missing, presumed dead. They sealed the mall again, this time with concrete. A year later, they demolished the place, built condos over the lot. Every Halloween, a few of the residents report the same thing. Faint tapping sounds in the basement walls, like someone knocking from the other side of a service tunnel. I never went back, but I still dream about that blinking red light and Leo's voice, somewhere in the dark, whispering, "Don't shine your light too far."
There's a kind of silence underground that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's not quiet. It's the sound of air that hasn't been breathed in years. Every city has its secrets: maintenance tunnels, storm drains, forgotten infrastructure. In mine, they call it the veins. There was me, Jake, and 2 friends, Hannah and Daryl. We weren't ghost hunters or anything, just bored 20-somethings with cameras and bad judgment. Jake had found an old map of the city's storm system. Supposedly, one section connected all the way to the river, 3 miles underground. "Dude, it's like a maze. Let's film it. Post it for Halloween. Urban Legends of the Veins." We met at midnight under the old overpass. Rain was still falling, the air cold and slick. The tunnel entrance was a 6-foot concrete pipe, half covered by weeds and spray paint. Ladies first? Not a chance. That was the last time any of us laughed. Inside, it felt like walking into another world. The sound of rain faded into a constant drip, and our voices bounced back at us from every direction. We marked turns with chalk arrows, white streaks on wet concrete. After 20 minutes, we were deep enough that the air went still. No breeze, no sound from the city. "It's weirdly clean down here." She was right. No trash, no rats, no graffiti, just blank walls, perfectly smooth. That's when I noticed the writing. Etched, not spray painted. Dozens of tiny scratch marks, covering the wall like tally marks. What the hell is that? Counting days? He ran his hand across them. The grooves were deep. Too deep for a key or a knife. We froze. It came again. A voice, maybe 100 feet down the tunnel. Could have been the echo, but it sounded wrong. "Help me. Someone's down here." No one's supposed to be here. We moved toward it, stupidly, hearts pounding. The tunnel widened into a circular chamber, a storm basin about 15 feet across, water dripping from the ceiling. The flashlight beams danced across concrete until they hit something, a sleeping bag, and beside it, a wall of more tally marks, hundreds of them, like someone had been living there for years. "There's no one here, let's go." Then the sleeping bag moved. Jake aimed his light. A man's face, gaunt and pale, eyes dilated, blinking against the brightness. He looked terrified. "Turn it off. Please, don't let them see." "Who's down here with you?" "You don't hear them? They live in the pipes. They only come when it rains." "He's insane, let's go." But the man grabbed my arm, nails cutting into my sleeve. His skin was ice cold. "They mark the walls when they move." We turned toward the sound, and the wall beside us had changed. The tally marks we'd seen earlier, they were wet now, fresh, like someone had just carved them. When I looked back, the man was gone. Just the sleeping bag, empty. After the man vanished, no one said anything for a long time. Just the sound of dripping water and our breathing. Jake kept the camera rolling. His light flickered like it was nervous too. "We have to go back.
We'll just follow our chalk marks. But when we turned the corner, the marks were gone. Not erased, washed clean. Every white arrow we'd drawn had been replaced with wet black streaks. Who did this? None of us answered. The tunnel stretched on both ways, identical, endless. You could look either direction and see the same repeating circle of darkness. We picked a direction. We shouldn't have. We walked for what felt like hours, turning at random junctions. The air was heavier now, humid, metallic. The opening into another chamber, wider this time. Pipes ran up the walls like ribs. It's different. This isn't on Jake's map. She was right. The chamber wasn't concrete anymore. It was old brick. Red, crumbling, slick with condensation. In the center lay a rusted ladder leading down into black water. I'm not going down there. Listen. It came from below. The camera's battery light started blinking red. We tried our phones. No signal, of course. The map was useless now. Jake insisted he recognized the layout. Said we'd turn left, then right, and reach the surface grates. Jake, you said that an hour ago. Her voice cracked. I could feel the claustrophobia setting in, that crawling heat under your skin when you realize the walls are too close. We're not alone. We shut off our lights. In the pitch black, you start hearing things that may not exist, but what we heard moved. It started with tapping. 3 knocks, pause, 3 knocks again, like Morse code but faster. Then the water beneath us rippled. Something big had shifted down there. I want out, now! Keep quiet. He pointed the camera toward the nearest junction. The frame shook. For a second, the lens caught movement, a shadow crawling along the curve of the wall faster than a person should move. Jake screamed. The camera fell. Light spun across the tunnel, caught a smear on the wall. Fresh tally marks again, dripping black. We ran. No direction, no sense. Just away. The tunnels blurred into a looping nightmare. Same pipes, same symbols, again and again. When we finally collapsed, gasping, there was light ahead. A faint square of daylight through a rusted grate. We made it! Jake climbed first. He pushed at the grate. It didn't move. Outside, it had started raining again. And from somewhere behind us, the tapping returned. Louder now. Coming closer. Don't look back. I looked anyway. For half a second, the flashlight beam hit something pale, slick, and human-shaped, pressed against the tunnel wall like wet paper. Then it was gone. We never found the way out. The city sent a rescue team 2 days later after Hannah's mother called the police. They found us near an outlet, half collapsed from the storm. Daryl was unconscious. Jake's footage was water damaged. They never found the man from the sleeping bag, or whoever carved the marks. Sometimes when it rains, the drains overflow near the river. Locals say they hear tapping under the manholes. If you ever hear it, don't answer. It's strange how silence can hurt more than noise. After we found the grate, no one spoke for a long time. We just sat there, in that stale, humid dark, too scared to move, too tired to keep running. I remember Hannah sitting with her back to the wall, crying softly. Jake's camera light had died, and Daryl kept staring at the grate, like it might open if he wished hard enough. Then the rain outside got worse. You could hear it, a low roar as runoff filled the pipes above. It's rising! The water's rising! She was right. The floor water had gone from ankle to calf in seconds. We have to climb. He scrambled up the ladder, pounding the grate again, yelling for help, but the storm was too loud. Then we heard it, behind us, That same tapping. It's coming from under the water. The drain beneath us rippled violently, bubbles rising in clusters, and then something slammed against the floor grate from below. The water turned black. Not dark, black, like oil or thick mud churning upward. Hannah was nearest. I saw her try to climb, but something caught her leg. "It's got me! It's—" She vanished under the surface. Daryl jumped in after her. I grabbed his jacket, but he was pulled down, too fast, too strong. Jake screamed her name over and over, but it was useless. For a while, there was nothing. Just the rain. I don't remember climbing, just the cold metal under my fingers, the pounding of my own pulse. Jake pushed at the grate again, yelling, until suddenly it gave. Daylight burst through like a blade. We crawled out into the street, water pouring out behind us, carrying trash, mud, and something else. I looked back one last time. The tunnel mouth was overflowing, like the city itself was spitting us out. Jake was crying. I didn't even realize I was too. The police searched the tunnels for 3 days. They found no bodies, just Hannah's shoe, wedged in a side pipe. Daryl's phone was recovered 2 weeks later, miles away, near the river outlet. Jake's footage never uploaded. His hard drive was full of corrupted files, static, distortion, and a single clip of those tally marks.
I'm a freelance real estate photographer. I take pictures of houses, empty ones, mostly, right before they go on the market. The one on Hillside Crescent was supposed to be routine, except the key left in the lockbox didn't fit. I should have driven off. Instead, I walked around the back. He describes creeping vines, cracked patio glass, and the silence. A curtain moves even though every window is closed. The smell of bleach lingers in the air. He slides the patio door open, unlocked, and enters. Inside, the air feels warm, used, not abandoned. He sets up his tripod in the foyer. Every shot echoes too loud. His flash illuminates faint shoe prints on the hardwood floor. Fresh. He finds a child's drawing taped to a wall. A stick family with black scribbles over the parents' faces. Maybe squatters, he mutters. But there's no trash, no bedrolls, nothing but clean furniture, arranged carefully. He hears a door creak upstairs. When he looks up, a light flickers in the hallway, like a dying bulb. He calls out, "Hello? Realtor? Security?" But no answer, only the faint shuffle of someone walking barefoot above. Fade to black. He ascends the stairs, camera in hand, recording for proof. Each photo flash briefly illuminates portraits on the wall, faces scratched out with something sharp. He checks each room. Master bedroom. Immaculate. Bed made. Blinds closed. Bathroom. Spotless. Mirror cracked across the middle. Guest room. Empty. Except a single chair facing the wall. He moves closer. On the wall, someone has written in chalk, "We don't like when you take pictures." He slowly lowers the camera, and in the next flash, he catches a figure crouched under the bed. He bolts downstairs. The front door won't budge, jammed like from the outside. He checks his phone, no signal. He hears the shutter of another camera going off somewhere in the house. Then, a soft child's voice from upstairs. "You're not supposed to move the furniture." He runs out through the back door, into the cold rain. 2 weeks later, the narrator finds the house listed online with his photos, all except one. The final image, which he doesn't remember taking, shows himself standing in the hallway, camera raised, flash mid-burst, and a pale woman in the corner watching him. He contacts the realtor. The listing agent says there was never a photographer booked that day. He revisits the property, but it's gone, bulldozed to an empty lot. He shows the police his files. They confirm the photos are time-stamped 2 days before the demolition, meaning he was inside when the property technically didn't exist anymore. He ends, "I never took another job alone after that. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still see the flash and her standing there, waiting."